So tonight we're going to be talking about the simplicity of love. The breath helps us do that because it beckons us to go inside. So breathing in. And inside of yourself, just imagining you're following the breath down into your heart and getting cozy in that space inside of ourselves. And we often imagine about love being complicated, but it's just like the air. The air is one of the simplest forms of recognizing love. We all need it, and we all have abundant access to it. It's immediately available. As soon as we breathe in, it's just like right there. And we often forget about it because of its abundance. That it's right there. That we don't have to work that hard for it. And just like the air we breathe is so immediately available, so is love. It's interesting that we don't question our worthiness for air. We just breathe it in. And that's how love is too. We don't have to question that we are loved. We don't have to question that we are love. And it's a mutual relationship between the air we breathe and ourselves. There's an exchange happening all the time. And the same thing is true of love. Love just enters in. And it's amazing how our bodies are built to receive this air. And inside of air, in the little aspects of particles of it, ever how we want to define it, is love. It's one of the ways that Earth shares love with us. It's through the air that we breathe. It's how the universe shares love with us. It's how the sun shares love with us. By creating this constant reminder that we are loved and that there's nothing that you have to do to earn it. Just receive it. And that's how we are to function. And when we get lost or get concerned about whether we're loved or whether we are loved, it's all based on the thoughts that we think, how we've perceived ourselves. But even as we misperceive ourselves, we're still breathing, still receiving, still exchanging. So let's breathe that in, aware that this intake of breath is love loving us. And as it fills our bodies and merges with our heart space, it's exchanging. It's saying thank you for receiving me. And in that space, we greet it with the love that we are. If we don't think about it, it's that simple. And it's only when we begin to get concerned that we're not doing it right. Maybe I don't love myself enough. Maybe I don't know how to love me. And it's going back to that which is simple. Breathing in. So simple. Receive that you are loved. And let that part that sparks inside of you as you hear that you are loved. That spark is the love that you are, the essence of who you are, that's ready to greet that incoming love with love. So we breathe in and merge and connect with that space inside of ourselves. And we exchange back out an exhale that sends love to others around us. And sometimes we ask ourselves, am I qualified? Am I good enough to be love? Yes, you are. To exist on this planet was your first step in loving. On this planet, entering this body and agreeing to be here and exist was your contract to be love on this planet. So you can't screw this up. It's just not possible. And we can't evaluate our lives by what our minds say. Our minds will tell us all the places that we've messed up. But our minds do not know us. They know about what others say. They know about what we've been told. But it doesn't know who you really are. But the air does. The air does. It's ready to merge with you. You expect it to be there because you don't even think about it. And it expects to be received. And as you open to that breath and you let it in and receive it into yourself, let that be a metaphor for loving you. Let every breath remind you, when your mind starts rolling in what hasn't gone right, let that breath remind you that love isn't judging you. Love isn't listening to your mind. Love is waiting to be received, just like the air. And even as I refer to the air as a metaphor, it actually is embodied with love. And you are receiving love when you breathe in. It's the exchange that we have with every other being on this planet, sharing this air. Inhaling and exhaling, receiving and giving. Every breath is a reminder that you are qualified to receive love, and that your exhale is the exchange of love from you back to this planet. And if we just focus on that for a minute, receiving this love and taking that inhale, letting it sit inside of your chest for a moment, merging your own love with that, and then exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling, receiving and exchanging. It's as simple as that. We complicate it with our thoughts, but let's not think tonight. Let's just receive. And just like the abundance of air, the abundance of love is there for you. Just take a moment to feel, not think, but feel. Feel the gratitude for the air that you're breathing, for the love that you're receiving. And if any thought comes up, just shh to the thought. because you're not that thought. So we just go back to focusing on our inhale and our exhale. And we allow ourselves, as we continue inhaling and exhaling, to just notice how gratitude merges with that so easily. And we just hold that still space. Anything more complicates what love is. So we return to breathing and receiving, and then exhaling, exchanging, giving it back. Just a little I love you. And if we keep our minds just focused on breathing in and exhaling out, I love you. Nothing more, as simple as that. And we're not thinking about whether we want to share love with anyone or a specific person, or if this person is worthy. Didn't require those thoughts. It's just breathing in and receiving that love. And then exhaling out. And just like the earth and the sun and all the elements that provide air, do not question whether you should receive it or not. As you exhale out love, you're not questioning whether whoever gets that exhale is worthy of the connection. Because of course they are. You're not worried about whether you're worthy to give it. Because giving love and receiving love isn't a process of worthiness or earning. Simply doing. So as you breathe in and greet your own self with love, and then breathe out, letting that breath go wherever it needs to with love. And we sometimes think that love is some great sacrifice, some one moment in time where you really sacrificed. And it can include that. But there's so many moments, so many breaths in every day where you're exchanging love, where you are being loved by this earth and this atmosphere and everything that creates the air. And when you are giving it back, so simple. At no point is the air judging you, questioning relevance. It's excited to enter your lungs, to be processed into your bloodstream, to exchange with your entire body, and is excited that when you've let it enter you, that you're willing to share it back out without question of where it goes or how it will be received. The breath is an eternal reminder of how much you are loved and how much you are capable of loving. Because in its simplicity, it is saying receive and share. And that is love. That you can simply receive and share. No thinking involved. Just breathing. No thinking involved. Just loving. And can love be that simple? And that's a question of the mind. Because yes, love is oh so simple. Just like breath, just like air. No one taught you how to breathe. It's instinctual. And so is love. It's why you pursue it. But the mind makes it a pursuit. Because you are it. You are love. You don't have to pursue that which you are. You engage it. Just like you do the breath. Breathing in. It's not a chase. It's instinctually allowing that love in. You don't have to chase the breath. And you don't have to cling to it like you'll never get it again. You just breathe it in and share it out. And the next second you can breathe it in again. It's that abundant. It's that simple, that easy. And just like no one taught you how to breathe, that you did it naturally on your own. No one has to teach you how to love. You are that naturally on your own. Every being that breathes, that shares this air with us, whether it's a plant that's exchanging and creating more oxygen, or yourself, or another person. You are love. Instinctively, we have an awareness that it's supposed to be in our life. Don't you? Don't a part of you just realize, like, you want love? And where we seek it is from others. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting to be loved by others. Of course. No judgment on wanting to be loved by others. But oh, have you loved yourself? Because there's a well of love inside of you that is more than enough. And sometimes we think, oh my God, how disappointing, I want it out there. And that's the secret way that we self-reject. Because we've been told we have to earn it. We have to be good boys or good girls and earn love. Because those telling us had not yet become aware that love is freely given. It is present in every breath. And the universe loved you so much that it created this reminder in the form of air, so that at any point you forgot, on the very next breath you could remember. Because in this air is the remembrance. So just breathe. And when I say the universe wanted you to know how much you are loved by creating this function of exchange, I mean you. Because you are not separate from all that is. That you are not separate from this air that we're breathing in. The great reminder that we are all one. The breath. And it greeted you as you were born. And as soon as you came out of that womb, one of the very first things that you did was breathe in. And the universe in that moment was saying, function on love. Love without thought. Love without thinking. Love without value of worth. Nobody checked to see if you had earned it yet. And since you are not separate from the universe, you created this reminder for yourself. How did we get, and I should say, how did we forget that love is a birthright? That by the very fact that you exist, you are worthy. And this air is a reminder for your recognition of that you are loved, that you are love, and that you are worthy. So cool that we created this reminder for us. That it doesn't come with a list of things that you must accomplish before you are loved, that you are instantly greeted with it. As soon as you come out of the womb, you're greeted by the love of air. You bring it into your lungs for that first time. And in that moment, even though you were so scared because you came out of this warm, cozy place where everything was just right, and you're in this world in this different temperature, and your body's like, what the heck? I've been used to being all like underwater all this time, and it was all cozy. And you come out, and there's all these people there. And that very first reminder is, breathe in, you're loved. Breathe in, you're here. And exchange. Because immediately you were capable. You were born for love. To both receive and to give. And so we created this existence to remind us on a physical plane that we are love and loving. And we made it immediately available, so there would be no question of whether you should have it or shouldn't. And it's the one thing that no matter how you've lived your life, you're going to breathe. You're going to be loved. And as a child, we're aware. We're so ready to receive it. We don't question it. And if you've ever held a little baby, oh my gosh, aren't they beautiful? Even the ugly ones. They're all beautiful. And we get quiet when we hold them. We just look at them. We love them. There's something there that reminds us how lovable we are. And then we complicate life with thought. And then we begin to worry whether we're worthy, whether we've done enough. And there's no thought that can derail you from love unless you allow it. And that's the other thing that's so amazing about life, is choice. It's another birthright, the right to choose. And you get to choose whether you listen to the thoughts because our thoughts send us outside for love. Sends us outside for love first. We're looking for that person that's going to show us that we're lovable. And that person is inside of you. And though it is a wonderful and beautiful thing to love another and to be loved in return, most importantly, you must love yourself. Because no one else outside of you can love you enough to fill that spot. Because that spot is reserved for your own self-recognition. Because to love yourself, because only you know all of you. Only you have the tools to love you no matter what. No matter any thought you've ever thought, no matter anything that you've ever done, only you can love you that intimately. And the importance of loving you, I could say it was smaller than this, but it isn't smaller. It's so important that you love you, because it is God, source or universe, recognizing and loving itself. It is no less than the involvement of all that is. Because who you are is an extension of Source or of God. And all that is asking, can you look at yourself and recognize the magnitude, the essence of God in yourself? And can you see that it's not looking for perfection? That all that is asking you to love an imperfect you. Because what great stretch is it to love perfection? What have you loved if you love perfection? It's not real. But when you love, because you are love, then you grow the universe. You expand it. And to make sure that this concept was not forgotten, you were greeted with air the moment you were born. And it filled your lungs, and you recognized it, and you loved back. And the people that held you didn't have words for the love they felt, because your mind hadn't started kicking in about if you deserved it or if they deserved it. So it's no small matter to love yourself. And then, as you do, love you. Loving others is a much simpler task, because you don't have to like them. And it's okay not to like everybody. But you still have air and love for them. And it's easier to love imperfect people when you've loved imperfect you. And when we forget and our minds are running amok, saying all kinds of things about us, breathe in. You can't hold your breath long enough to not receive love. And isn't that wonderful news? Isn't it wonderful news that you will surrender to love? You will surrender to the breath, and you will surrender to loving you. And it's a beautiful thing to surrender, to let go, in exchange with others the gift of love that doesn't require their perfection, just like it doesn't require yours. So let us breathe in deeply, receiving the love of the universe, which is self-love. That's what's so amazing. that you loved you enough to feel this love in every drop of air, if we want to call it a drop. That you loved you enough that you created a world where you breathe in love. Let it merge with the love you are, and you exhale it out for every being. And this self-love designed by you as an aspect of the universe, because you knew you would love you. And you are no less than God or Source or the universe. It is impossible for you to escape your love. But your mind can tease you for a little while if you choose. And isn't it fun to play chase with yourself sometimes? I can't love me. I've done this or that. I can't love me. And the whole time breathing. I can't love me. And as you get angry, you inhale deeper. Oh my God. We're so funny. Oh, it's guaranteed. You're gonna love you. But it's fun to chase yourself for a little while. I mean, what's love without a good chase, you know? A good play at it. Makes you think you've earned it, you know? I love you. And thank you for loving me.